Welcome back. Well, it's time now to welcome someone to the studio who's very well known in the Shropshire business community. It's Mandy Thorn, MBE, High Sheriff of Shropshire. Mandy, welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for inviting me.
And you've been in here, this studio, lots of times, but in different, wearing different hats, haven't you?
Yes, yes, lots of different hats, which sort of sums up everything that, my whole thing about being really nosy is I tend to do different things. So, yeah, but this is the biggest honour and privilege.
But we're not your first official engagement today, now, are we? So
no, I've been at Sundawn Sports Village, where it's the Shropshire Primary School Sports Championships, which was amazing. Over 350 years 5 and 6, doing all sorts of different things. I've seen tag rugby, which was a bit chaotic. I have to say the referees need gold medals themselves. Netball, indoor athletics, double up relay races, basically seeing young people hurling themselves at walls, carrying a baton and then passing it over to somebody else. Fantastic.
Believe me, we can do chaotic here in the studio as well. Not quite so energetic, but we can do chaotic, definitely.
Yes.
Tell us about the High Sheriff's role for anybody that doesn't know too much about it, and how much you're able to put your own agenda towards the year in office there.
The High Sheriff's role is actually the oldest Crown appointment. So the first sheriffs actually date back to pre-Norman Conquest. And there is a long and not necessarily great history. So past sheriffs, their responsibilities were collecting debts for the Crown, keeping the King's peace or the monarch's peace. So they were, when we didn't have the police, the sheriffs were responsible for keeping people off the streets, or whether they were good or bad sometimes. I mean, everybody knows about the Sheriff of Nottingham. However, the role of High Sheriffs today is actually a superb, non-political, voluntary, one-year-only role, and we very much are here to shine the spotlight on everything that's wonderful. There are 55 High Sheriffs around the country, one each for the Shire counties in England and Wales, and we wander around, poke our noses into places, go, you are amazing, we need to celebrate what you do. And actually just seeing people and saying thank you. Brilliant. And I do lots of different things.
I know you particularly want to put business right at the heart, business and enterprise, don't you, right at the heart of a lot of what you're doing.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's my background. I had my own business until about 18, 20 months ago. Everything that I've achieved has been down to the fact that I've worked in this amazing county. We need businesses to take their rightful place. I mean, we've just heard about from the Business Awards at the Chamber. Great celebration, but actually every day businesses do wonderful things. We celebrate volunteers, and the role of the High Sheriff is absolutely to celebrate volunteers. But in business, we have a lot of people who just are unsung heroes. They go that extra mile. It's part of what they do. And my theme for the year is unsung heroes. And I want to find them, thank them for what they do. It's not about what they do in their business, but in their role within their job, within the business, within the company. Those extra things they do, they make a difference in their communities.
How much of a say do you get then in shaping specifically, your year? Are there certain things that are in your calendar set in stone that you'll need to do, you have to do, or you're expected to do?
Actually, there's not as much as I thought. I think right at the beginning, and you have a 4-year run-in to become the High Sheriff, which is a long apprenticeship, particularly somebody like me I'm a bit of a back of the fag packet sort of person. So this whole idea of being really organised 4 years in advance. There are things that you are expected to attend, but actually it's about reaching out to different organisations and saying, can I help? Can I come and visit you? Can I raise your profile? Can I talk to you? Because I was talking to somebody else, and what they do and what you do will be brilliant together. So actually, it's about what you as the High Sheriff make of it. You can be as busy or as laid back as you want. And I'm trying to be somewhere in the middle, but at the moment I'm just loving the fact that I'm going around the county, seeing different people, different organisations that I'd never get to see. And actually doing stuff out of the county that I'd never get to do.
It's a real eye-opener, I guess, because obviously you were out and about networking and on the business scene before, and now you're going into communities. And I guess places that you may not have been before in Shropshire, you're discovering new places.
I mean, I'm ashamed to say that I am. I mean, I thought I knew Shropshire pretty well. But one of the first things that I did, I went down to Newcastle on Clun on a very, very cold April afternoon, and had the absolute joy of presenting coronation medals to the primary school children at one of the smallest primary schools that we have in the county. And they're actually part of a federation. So 3 schools came together. Brilliant lunch had been sorted out by the PTA. And doing that, I'd actually never been to Newcastle on Clun. That journey, wow, brilliant. And it reminds me everywhere I go. Yesterday evening, we were in Ludlow. You know, the drive from where I live down the Corve Dale to Ludlow on such a beautiful evening. And going up to Ellesmere and walking around the meres for the Soldiers' Museum at Shrewsbury Castle last weekend. Great things to do. And it's those things that quite often you'll see and go, I'd like to do it, but no, I'm a bit busy. This year I've got no excuse.
No, this is your year.
This is my year and I can do
Really
it, and
is.
it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, it was a couple of years ago now, you know, we had Dean Harrison
Yes.
here, and of course, she was the COVID High Sheriff as well, wasn't
Yeah.
she? And, you know, so she had to adapt very much
And
to do things differently, didn't she?
Absolutely, and Dean was a brilliant High Sheriff. And I mean, I have to say, one of the great things is each High Sheriff brings their own take on it. So my predecessor was just exemplary. Her predecessor, very different way of working, but again, really put a focus on actually the visitor economy. That was Tony. Dean had to go from having everything organised to be out there and about to going to be a virtual High Sheriff. And she set the bar really high. She really made sure that so many organisations knew about the role. And I think that's what's the great thing about it. It's one of those things that you only really get to know the job when you're handing over to the next person. But if we can all just bring something a little different, get to know more about what's going on in the county and hand it over to the next person, then, you know, hopefully job done.
How can businesses work with you then, you know, to help themselves and give you the kind of things that you're looking to help promote this year?
That's such a great question. And actually talking to some of the other sort of people who were attending the games this morning, their big ask. So there was an amazing person from the Hive, there was somebody else from Shropshire Cricket. The games are organised through Energise. Actually, what they're really after is businesses looking to their local communities, looking particularly at schools and building up relationships. Schools are not well funded as far as activities are concerned. And we all know that the fitter we are, and fitness starts, you know, from we need children to be active. We don't want them to be sitting there gaming all the time. The more we can do to encourage schools to enable them to buy equipment, actually to have people volunteering to help run, you know, sports clubs. Businesses can help do that. If you're a business and you know that you've got a scout or guiding group or, you know, brownies or any of those groups for young people, think about enabling your employees to do a little bit of volunteering or just raise some money that will make a real difference. And sometimes just 150 quid can make such a difference. And if every business across Shropshire just looked at what's in their own community or talked to their employees and said, are you or your children or your family involved in any charities around? And just thought about a little bit of corporate social responsibility. And we do it very well here. But if we can spread it more widely, we'd make such a difference.
We were talking with Andrew and Hayley, of course, a bit
Yeah,
earlier with
absolutely.
the, you know, the career card. And
Yeah.
that's the same kind of philosophy,
is.
isn't it? Trying to keep the goodwill
Yeah.
of Shropshire people within the county of
And
Shropshire.
we are really good at that in the county. But as Hayley was saying, you know, actually be able to recruit people to businesses, recruitment's always an issue. But if we build relationships with schools early, if we build relationships that are with not just schools but the wider community, it makes it easier to recruit and retain staff, and that's to everybody's benefit.
Absolutely. Where are we going to see you next then? Where are you going to be popping up next? What have you got on your agenda?
Well, this evening I'm at Telford for the mayor making. I had very odd connotations about what that made, as you know, is it hubble bubble, toil and trouble? Oh, out comes the new mayor. Apparently not. There is obviously a democratic process around mayor making, and then I'm doing seeing various different charities next week. So next week's really quite a busy week. So it's brilliant.
Is it seasonal or not, or is it, you know, there are peaks and troughs and busy times? isn't it?
Apparently it gets a little less busy during the summer. But then the summer is, you know, British summer, it's a slightly movable feast. I'm trying to do maybe 8, 9, 10 sort of things a week, visits a week, but just don't know. And I just love getting invitations that pop up. So it's the county show this weekend.
Indeed, yeah.
So popping along to that.
And the weather's going to be perfect for it, isn't it, as well? So they can
Yeah,
take
I've
advantage of it.
have to say I've spent a lot of time at the county show with me wellies on and Mac, and absolutely freezing. So if it's perfect weather, brilliant.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Great to see you. I'm
you.
sure our paths will be crossing at
I
various
hope so.
points over the next few
Yes,
months.
I hope so. It's there's so much going on in this county. It's brilliant. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for joining.
Please invite me back.
We definitely will. We'd love an update.
Anytime. We
Please
can't
do.
say no to the High Sheriff,
No,
can we?
we can't.
Thank
We
you.
can't say no to that.